Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face on YouTube and on all your favorite audio platforms, powered by fullpresscoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs. I am Rucker. I'm here with EJ, and we are here to talk about professional wrestling and all that entails. A lot of shit coming down the pike from Rock and Roman and Cody, and EJ was in the house last night for Monday Night Raw. The internet's melting down. Just pets' heads are falling off. Like all kind of shit's going on, EJ.
Yeah, man. A lot of nonsense and mayhem going on the internet, the interwebs, and whatnot. It's a lot to unpack here. Let's see if we can fit it all in.
I'm sure we can. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw last night. You just popped up and ended up in the building last night. How was that? I know we know how I feel about the city of St. Louis. What a dog shit town that is. But how'd you enjoy St. Louis? That's the first time you've been back since Rumble?
Nah, man, I've been back a bunch of times since I even talked about it on the show. Like when I went to SmackDown, that was St. Louis. That was back October or so, November. I've been back a bunch of times since Rumble and since being on the show.
You're like right in the middle of Kansas City and St. Louis, right? Isn't that what you said?
I am about 2 hours away from each place.
Yeah, it's literally right in the middle because they're 4 hours apart. So you
Yep.
get to fucking just go wherever you want.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse.
Was that a last minute decision to go last night, or were you playing?
Yeah, I wasn't going, and then I'm like, man, why not? I mean, who knows what will happen in the future? I might not be able to go in the future and have time to go. So I was like, I ain't doing nothing. Why not? Might as well take advantage of it.
So let's get to the elephant in the room, EJ. I watched Raw last night. I watched the first segment live, and you had put in our text that The Rock got booed out of the building. But watching it on TV, like it didn't come through like that. They got a Rocky Sucks chant going. They booed Rollins when he was asking Cody to go for the title. But how was the We Want Cody takeover live and in person?
I mean, maybe they were manipulating the sound on TV. I feel like the crowd was unorganized with it. Like you had half of the arena trying to get a We Want Cody chant, and then the other half just with a Cody chant, and they could never get in sync. But that happened like throughout the whole night. And I'm sure WWE may have been manipulating some of the sound on their end. And then same with like the Rocky Sucks chant. They were breaking out throughout the whole night. More so on my side, maybe than travel throughout the whole arena, because it's about probably like a 15 to 17,000 seat arena, because that's where the Blues play. So yeah, I mean, nice sized crowd last night.
You know,
always
what
brings for the city.
a bunch of ungrateful sons of bitches.
Talk about
Rocky
it.
sucks, all because. All right, let's start from the beginning. So normally I don't like to do the backstage like reports and shit like that, but I feel like this is a big enough story to where I kind of had to do a little investigation. So I was listening to Wade Keller. I've read all the shit from Fightful, and I'm getting conflicting reports, right? Like Wade Keller, he's got people on the inside. He says that this has been the plan at the very latest since January, early January, late December. that the plan was for Rock and Roman to fight. And everybody knew. They knew before the Royal Rumble. They just, the execution of the storyline was fucked up. That sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Fightful then reports that Cody was told he was going to be in the main event versus Roman. And he didn't learn about it until the week before the Rumble. I can't remember who the other one that reported it was, but their report was Cody wasn't even going to get a world title match this year because he wasn't going to win the Rumble. Punk was supposed to win the Rumble, which I've seen that be debunked and supported. So all of the reports are either you believe what you want to believe, basically, and people are choosing to believe reports that The Rock just came in and said, "I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm on the board of directors now. I want this match." Right now, as a Rock and a Cody fan, I'm right in the middle. But I don't want to see Cody versus Roman. I want to see Rock versus Roman. But taking all bias out of it, if you think about it, Rock was supposed to fight Roman last year, and he didn't. So Cody got to fight Roman last year, and he lost. So all the Cody fans got what they wanted last year when The Rock had other obligations. The guy's 50-something years old. He's the biggest star in the world, right? He ain't going to have much more time to do this match. Just so happens that the timing works out. It's WrestleMania. Let's fucking do it. Cody's going to be there for the foreseeable future, right? I look at it like this. WrestleMania, they build it as the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. You know what they do during the Super Bowl, EJ? It's in Las Vegas right now. They price out the hardcore fans. The Super Bowl is not for the everyday fan that's there week 1, week 2 through the preseason and all that. That's not who that's for. That's for the mainstream people to come out there. And that's what WrestleMania is for. WrestleMania ain't about us. WrestleMania is about bringing in other people so you can grow the fucking business more. The Rock does that. Cody does it. To be disrespectful to The Rock, all of a sudden, I'm scrolling online, motherfuckers are pulling up like old John Cena and CM Punk promos versus him. Like, Dwayne couldn't even do shit back. Are we calling this man Dwayne now? Like, he ain't even a Rock no more? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing, people? So, like I said, there's a lot to unpack with this one. I'm going to take it back before we get into the actual fans. WWE, on the booking side of things, they did a horrible job of executing this. This could have all been avoided if you knew The Rock was going to come. Why didn't he win the Royal Rumble? This would have probably deaded all of that if you had like Cody get eliminated way before The Rock entered or something like that.
It wouldn't have worked.
Why not?
Same reason it didn't work when Batista won years ago. They don't want anybody else. Like, these are, I don't know, every few years or so, the fans get into a thing where they start pouting and trying to take over. And I mean, it happened in a good way with Kofi Mania. Oh, now Kofi Mania ended up being a part of the storyline, but it happened in a good way there. But hijacking, and if The Rock comes out at number 30 and wins, he's gonna get booed out of the building because Cody already got eliminated. That's just, I've heard people say Rock should have just won the Rumble. I don't think that would have worked either. Honestly, I think they should have just had somebody not named Cody win the Rumble. Probably would have been Punk since he was supposed to fight Rollins anyway. When Punk got hurt, they could have had fucking Drew McIntyre or somebody win. Anybody could have won it but Cody. To now, or here's an idea. Don't have Cody come out on SmackDown and say, Roman, I want the title, blah, 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 and bring out The Rock. Just have Cody pick Seth Rollins.
That too, that would have worked too. But you said they could have had anybody win the Royal Rumble. You said that might have worked.
Anybody but Drew McIntyre, somebody like that. Because honestly, I think the way it's going right now, Drew might end up in that match too. So Cody might end up in a fucking triple threat over over a one-on-one match. Cody wins. All right, just leave it how it was. Cody won. Cody came out. Rollins could have fucking gave him that same speech, and Cody said, "You know what? Fuck it, let's do it." And it would have been over. And then on Friday, Roman could come out talking all kind of shit. Cody don't even want to fight me. There's nobody left. The Rock comes out. We're off to the races. The Rock and Cody don't even fucking intertwine at all.
Yeah, that last thing that they did on SmackDown was definitely the biggest misstep they had. But I think if anybody would have won but Cody, probably would have got the same backlash, like you said, even if it wasn't The Rock.
Yeah, then make him a heel. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is perfect for it.
So I did have a plan B because I had a feeling you might say that if like The Rock coming at 30 not working. What about kayfabing? I don't even like using that word. What about having Cody get injured before the Rumble and do it like they do, like you know how they do like the social media reports during training? Cody had an ankle injury. Nobody has to know he didn't really have an ankle injury. He won't be participating at the Rumble this year because he had an ankle injury.
You shouldn't even have to. I mean, I hear you, but you shouldn't even have to do all that. Like, it's a storyline, people. Like, you don't get to write the storyline. Just, I don't know when fans got so fucking. I had to sit here and watch Triple H be basically racist against Booker T and still win the match. I had to sit here and watch Triple H beat Sting at WrestleMania for no fucking reason, right? I had to sit through a lot of shitty storylines in my life. And you know what happens? Eventually they fucking make up for it and you keep watching. I've been watching this shit for 30 something years. I've never fucking went to a show. We're gonna fucking hijack the show now. We're gonna show them. You're not showing them shit. You still bought the ticket. They don't give a fuck that you're chanting. All you're doing is messing it up for people that are there to have fun.
Yeah, so let's get into that side of it, the fans in the IWC. If I was The Rock, I'd say fuck you, ungrateful motherfuckers. I ain't showing up. I wouldn't come if I was The Rock.
So I want Hollywood Rock to come back. I don't know if you were around for Hollywood Rock in the early 2000s
Yeah, I
when he
was
came back
watching.
as a heel. But I will say this. I think this may be a good thing because with people bringing up the stuff with Punk and the stuff with Cena versus The Rock, I kind of noticed it back then too. But I've said on here, like, if The Rock's going to come back and do this with Roman, he can't come back calling somebody a cookie puss and like rhyme and shit and having people singing. Like, you're 51. I want you to come back and I want you to look Roman in his fucking eyes and like talk to him man to man. I don't want to sing along shit. You can do the finally and the if you smell, but the in between, the meat of it, I don't want none of that bullshit that he's been doing. Like, you've been doing the same shit for 25 years. It's time to evolve and go somewhere else. And I think this might wake him up. And I think he don't get to come in and just sleepwalk. Because if he does, he's gonna get booed out of the building. He's gonna have to actually do something to grab everybody, make them shut the fuck up, and then start making them chanting his name again. And I don't think coming out doing the jabroni beat and pie eating, like, they're gonna boo the shit out of you.
Well, yeah, that does play a factor into it as well. But being at the show, hearing those Rocky suck chants, I was fuming in my seats. I'm like, grow up. And I think it's like a generation, man, like the Gen Zers and even some of the younger millennials, mostly the vocal people of the IWC community and whatnot. And I don't know, man. You know what I think? I think people were comparing this to like the Daniel Bryan, the Yes movement.
Yeah.
I see it as like a apples and oranges comparison though. Because in that situation, even though I wasn't really checked in at the time, I went back and looked at some of that stuff. Uh Basically there's Daniel Bryan wasn't the guy, basically, and the fans basically vaulted him into that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, it's clear that Cody is the guy in the company. They're just saying that we want to tell the story right and wait a little bit. It's just fans being brats and being like, no, we want to see him win when we want to see him win. We don't want story playing to tell out, which is very, very fucking annoying. And I hate it.
Right. Like, you don't get what you want all the time. Like, if they gave you what you want all the time, you wouldn't keep fucking watching it, and then they would lose money. And they sold for $9 billion. I'm not here for them to make money. I'm just saying, like, That's how this shit works. If they give you what you want all the time, why would you tune in next week? Because you know what happens every time your fucking guy wins the title and you're like, all right, cool, whatever. And then they come out with the belt and it's not as fun anymore. There's nothing to fight for. You know what I mean? Like defending the title is not the same as winning the title. And real quick, right back to your experience in the crowd. What a difference like 72 hours made, right? Like The Rock walks out on Friday, and that's the biggest fucking pop we've heard since the last time the Rock walked out on TV. Like just massive, massive ovation. And then he gets booed out of the building. I would have loved if he would have been there to see how people would have reacted to it. I think it's easy to boo him when everybody's booing him and he ain't there. But let's be honest, like The Rock is a different fucking animal right now when it comes to star power. Like you can boo a video of him, but when he actually shows up in your city, like, come on, you're not gonna boo The Rock.
It's fickle fans, and it's the internet. Like internet could be a good thing and a bad thing. This is where it went viral. The We Want Cody and the talking heads and the pundits aren't doing any help because you got like hosts like on Busted Open, Dave LaGreca. He's out there championing the We Want Cody thing, and it just sprays like wildfire, and people are sheep. And like you said, it was like a 180 between Friday with that big pop on SmackDown and Monday with the chance, and it's just baffling, man. I hate it.
Yeah, it's crazy how the biggest people in the industry when it comes to podcasting and radio and all that, they have so much power with who they like over just and as soon as their person doesn't win and or you go against who they like, what's the first thing they tell you? Why can't you guys just enjoy the product? Like my guy's winning, just enjoy it. I've listened to podcasts and radio shows since Friday with people just throwing fucking hissy fits. Like, get over it. I don't want to hear about Cody's story. This is a 2-year build. First off, like I've said a million times, since he lost at WrestleMania last year, they haven't had the story be him and Roman at all. They've had one face off before last week, and that was when him and Jay were the tag team champions. Then he wins the Rumble and he points up to the thing. That's it. That's not a 1-year build. That's a hot shot, right? Ever since the head of the table thing has started, when Alpha and Sika came out, and they put the Ulafale on Roman, and he was the head of the table, the head of the family. I provide for the family. What has everybody been talking about? Oh, eventually he's got to face The Rock. He's going to run through his whole family. Eventually he's got to face The Rock. People have wanted this online, everywhere else. Now we're about to get it, and y'all are fucking it up.
Exactly. And I don't have anything against Cody. I like how he went out, revetted himself, came back to WWE, and everybody loves him. But his fans are making me not like him, which is not a good thing. And this story, like you said, it started way back in 2020 when he was still in AEW. That like this has nothing to do with him, and I don't get how he kind of brainwashed fans by the finish the story thing, and fans have that implanted in his head like he's supposed to be the focal point of this, even though this has been a story that's been told for the past 4 years. It's just like I said, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Also with it, I had another point when it came to it. So the fans also they're gonna let a 10 dictate whether they like it or not. Because that's the only reason why they're bitching, is because Roman has the title. If Roman didn't have the title and it was The Rock and Roman, they wouldn't be bitching at all, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, why's it got to be for the title? What's the point of Cody winning the Royal Rumble? He's fighting for the fucking world title. Like anybody that wins the Royal Rumble usually gets a shot at either title when there's 2 of them. Guess what? Bayley won the Royal Rumble and she got to pick. She picked Io. Last year, what woman won the Royal Rumble last year? Was it Rhea? Rhea won the Royal Rumble. She got to pick between Charlotte and Bianca. Oh no, we want her to pick Bianca. Like, shut the fuck up. The guy made. If you're gonna be mad at somebody, be mad at Cody. He's the one that fucking decided he's gonna fight Seth Rollins and let The Rock come in. Storyline wise, backstage, The Rock probably said, "Sorry, kid, I'm in charge now." You want to be mad at somebody? You want me to tell you you should be mad at EJ? Be mad at Jack Perry. That's whose fault this is.
So
He started the domino effect that ended up with CM Punk in WWE, that ended up with Punk going against Rollins at WrestleMania, but then Punk tearing his tricep, which then threw everything into a fucking upside down spiral. And now here we are. If you really break it down, it's all Jack Perry's fault.
it's easy to point fingers at Jungle Boy, but that's kind of interesting to think about. What would have happened if Punk never came over? I don't, I don't see that many things changing with it, especially if The Rock was probably always supposed to come back. But
I'd like
yeah,
to know what would
but
happen if Punk wouldn't have got hurt in the Rumble, because, like I said, if Punk doesn't get hurt, I think Punk's wrestling Rollins, Rock's wrestling Cody, Roman, and Cody's probably fighting Orton or somebody like that. Like, then what would the reaction be to the crowd? Would they still be mad at The Rock that he came in and leapfrog? Also, this whole thing about, well, what's The Rock done? I've watched John Cena come back and get a world title match with Roman. I've watched Brock Lesnar walk back in and get a world title match. Then he got a title match against Lashley and everybody in Elimination Chamber. And then he gets another title match against Roman without really doing anything. Goldberg fucking walks back in and gets a title match against Roman. Like, why is it different now that The Rock comes back?
yeah,
Legends come back and they fight for the world title.
I get your point, especially with Goldberg and Cena. I think Brock actually won the Rumble, but that's beside the point.
Right, but look how he did it. He lost the first. What I meant by Brock was, before he won the WWE title in the Rumble and all that shit, he came back the night Roman beat John Cena, and he ended up getting a title match against Roman in Saudi Arabia just from coming back after being gone for like a year.
Yeah, like you said, people weren't crying about that. It's just because they're being crybabies and want what they want right away. Don't have any patience. Are willing to mess up a 4-year story just so they could see Cody win a piece of 10 and then not care about it a couple weeks after that. Because that's what'll happen, especially if he starts becoming Super Cody. Fans are gonna turn on him like they always do. But it
Which,
is what it is.
which, by the way, EJ, Cody's been back since WrestleMania. This will be his third WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 calendar years. You know he's only lost one match.
Crazy. That was the Lesnar, huh? Oh, Roman and Lesnar.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's lost 2 matches. Okay, he did lose. Did he lose to Lesnar?
Yeah, they remember they had a rubber match. I think Lesnar like choked them out or something.
Oh yeah. So he's been pinned once and he got choked out one. So he's lost 2 matches since he's been back. Come on, man. They've treated this guy like a fucking star.
And
Like,
they've done a good job at it too. But I tell you, as soon as that belt gets around them, fans, their tune will change when it comes to him.
and
But
I'm
now,
with you. Like, I fucking love Cody, but people just make the way people are acting. It almost makes me want to not have him win.
that's what, if I mean, let's get into that. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen with WrestleMania. I don't. It's always the card is subject to change. So, how do you think this is gonna shake out?
I think Cody's wrestling Rollins and Rock is wrestling Roman.
You don't think they might call an audible?
No, fuck that. Why would they call him out? Rock's still one of the biggest stars in the world. Like, okay, you wrestling fans are up in the tizzy, whatever. Like, it hadn't even been a week yet. They're not about to change something because of one show and a couple of house shows.
Mm. What if it's still if fans keep pushing back on it?
They got the money already. What are y'all gonna not come to WrestleMania now? You've already paid for your tickets.
I'm just saying, what if they like the road to WrestleMania? They just shit on anything the promo that The Rock does, and then it's like another Lesnar and Goldberg WrestleMania 20.
They'll have to deal with it. WWE will have to adjust. They're not changing shit. I don't think they're changing anything. They've, rumors were that they've wanted to turn Roman babyface for the longest anyway. Shit, maybe this is it. Maybe they do a double turn and the Rock ends up the heel.
I think fans just like to boo Roman, like within the storyline. I think they'll be just booing both of them. um, but
I-
but are you sure that Rollins is gonna be facing Cody? Because if Cody still hadn't accepted yet,
That's what Thursday's for.
think he's gonna accept at that press conference.
Yeah, that's why they're building it to be a big deal. It's just a press conference. Like it's Rock and Roman, man. We're and people are just thinking about like everything you just said, how people are just gonna shit on everything. I think this is gonna be such a good story too, when it's gonna be marred by people trying to like take over and boo and
Yep.
just like once it's official, it's official. You can do all that all you want, but you might as well just try to enjoy it now. Like, especially if it's gonna be good stuff. If it's gonna be shit, and you got every right to boo. But if it's actually gonna be a good story and you're just mad because Cody's not in it, like it almost makes me want The Rock to beat Roman now.
That's what they said. They said whispers that people are pushing for Rock to win the title. I don't know how much sense that would make, but it'd be interesting to see what kind of story they tell out of it. But yeah, I mean, you're a sensible person. Of course, you're gonna be logical and say the fans are ruining a good story because, like you said, I've been waiting to see the story. The Rock, head of the table, but fans are gonna ruin it for everybody. And I mean, I just think that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna shit on it. It's gonna make it not enjoyable to watch. I mean, I'm gonna take it for what it's worth. Like, I'm gonna get into the story, but it's still gonna be annoying with that being like the backdrop of everything. Fans just being assholes and hijacking it.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I've been waiting on this shit for 4 years now. Fuck y'all. Like I'm gonna enjoy it. It's to the point where like it's like where all the Rock fans at? Like when they were chanting Rocky sucks last night, I thought I heard a little faint, no, he doesn't, or we want Cody, no, we don't. Some shit like that I thought was going on. But like, where the fuck are the Rock fans at? Y'all need to start showing up. Start a fucking civil war out there. Not a real war. Like I don't want people fighting, but like as far as chants and shit like that, like that's that would make it more fun. If it's just one sided with a bunch of people fucking crying and there's nobody standing up to them, that's not as fun. But like during the John Cena days when it was like, we love Cena, John Cena sucks, like that was fun. Not just a bunch of motherfuckers crying again, and crying for what? Because the guy has a world title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Rock's fans stopped watching wrestling, so that's the thing, and that's kind of why he was brought in, so he could bring those casuals back to a big extravaganza like WrestleMania. I don't think his fans are showing up to week to week television for Monday Night Raw. It's just gonna be all the Cody fanboys, which sucks. Like you said, it'd
But
be more fun if it was a back and forth thing.
but fans of the Bloodline storyline should step up because if they're anything like us, they've wanted this the whole time too. Because, and again, Rock and Roman was supposed to happen last year. Case in point, you talk about sensible people. Rock and Roman was supposed to happen last year, right? We all kind of thought it was going to happen, and then it didn't. And Cody happened. I don't remember coming on here crying and complaining and bitching and starting hashtags like I wanted The Rock to fight him. I was, oh shit, Cody's fighting him. I picked Cody to lose, but I still accepted it. Like that's not who I wanted. I wanted The Rock to fight Roman last year, and there's the difference.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different because The Rock wasn't an employee, and we all know it's been rumors years, so we never knew for sure if he was gonna come back. Uh, Fans are behind Cody, whether they're right or wrong, because he's there on a week to week basis, and you know,
But he was never promoted to fight for the title at WrestleMania against Roman. That's what I'm saying. People are acting as if this was Cody's birthright. Like he was supposed. we were wanting this, like we've invested in the story, and this is where we thought it was going. You just assumed that's where it was going. Nobody said that's where WWE has never came out and said Cody and Roman are fighting at WrestleMania. They've never said that. People just assumed, and now they're mad because their assumption was wrong. If they would just listen to Boot to the Face, I've been telling you for months that it ain't gonna be Cody and Roman.
Yeah, I mean, that's before I thought it would be Cody and Roman if they didn't have The Rock, but they have The Rock, so we're in this predicament now. I just feel like they could have done a way better job of getting to this point because they knew that everybody pretty much knew The Rock was coming back when he showed up to the first, what was it, SmackDown or Raw? First Raw of the year. And I don't know.
I can't agree with you more on that one. Like, if the fans want to be mad at something, they definitely could be mad at shitty storytelling because this is like, we laid it out earlier. There's different ways you could have did it, but this story is awful. Like, Cody wins the Royal Rumble. All he's talked about is like, I got to finish the story and I want that title and blah, blah, blah. And now he wins and he's got a shot to go back to WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. And he's like, nah, I'll let The Rock do it.
That
The
was
Rock
the
didn't
that
win
was
the
the
Rumble.
that was the most stupid part of it. Him coming out on SmackDown and you're like, well, just not at WrestleMania. Like, who thought of that?
Yeah. But again, they have time to pull us back in. And like I said, I think the first Monday night, I don't know if they could wait fucking 11 months. So the crowd will fucking lose their shit if they try to wait till that Netflix deal. But if they did it on the first night on Netflix on Monday Night Raw, that would probably be a great event for it. But it ain't gonna happen until like Survivor Series at the earliest. So just I know people don't want to hear this, but Cody wasn't gonna win if he fought Roman at Mania. So just be happy he don't have to take another L.
Do they know where Survivor Series is gonna be at?
They haven't announced anything past TLC, I think. It's TLC, not TLC. What's it? Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank's in Toronto. I think that's the last PLE they've announced. I think there's one in France. Like, apparently all of the fucking non-big four are going to be like overseas.
Which is interesting because back in the Vince era, they didn't really travel out. They did like tours and like house shows. They didn't really do like pay-per-views or anything like that over there.
Hey, you got to get away from these ungrateful fucks in America. I bet they don't boo The Rock in France.
Yeah, they won't if they were smart. Yeah, it's just they got to figure out something because fans are so ungrateful. Like I said, if I were The Rock, I'd be like, man, peace, I'm out. Y'all want to boo me, and y'all lucky I'm back. I'm one of the biggest stars on the planet, but I already know it's already booked. So you got to roll with the punches and book it as you go. Figure out a way to have fans not hijack this thing completely, and we'll see what happens in Mania season.
Another thing that happened on Monday Night Raw last night, EJ, you got to experience my favorite wrestler going right now, main event Jey Uso in person. What's the vibe
Man,
like when my boy comes out?
that was one of the bright spots of the show. To be in an arena packed like that, he had the crowd hype, lit, and I don't know if you remember this because they only have it like maybe one show. Just by the way, he was already over. I think this is like in the early days when he first came over to Raw. Just his promo style, like fans were saying, because he's pausing between fans had a few what's chants when in the early days when he was over, but he done a good job of getting them to replace the what with the yeet. So
Yeah,
I dig that, and I took a picture or two. It's a sight to be seen when he's out in the crowd and he had like the whole arena going up and down. So yeah, man, day's over.
yeah. I think we did talk about his promo style, and I think that's why people like him because it doesn't seem like a fucking WWE reading off a script promo style. It's almost like he's just like a fucking real person out there talking to somebody he's about to fight. Like he gets so fucking wound up, you don't even know what to say. Really, he kind of did it last night against Gunther, but Gunther gave it back to him too. Don't beat your ass so bad you're gonna wish you was one of the twins nobody could recognize. I was like, damn, why you
I
gotta
was
be
like,
like that, ring general?
cold blooded. Gunter's like sneaky clever with his promos.
Oh
He'll
yeah.
like throw those little jabs in and those little barbs in. I dig it. But before we completely get off the Cody subject, the Seth element of it, what do you think about him and Roman with these little sub disses and the behind the curtain talk? How's that for a pop for you? I think Seth said at the beginning of his promo.
Yeah, he said it a couple times. And I thought it was stupid when Seth did it because it's just people singing your song. Like that's not a pop. But I also liked it because if they're taking legit shots at each other, because I don't the way Roman was talking last week, it was almost like Seth said his shit and Roman didn't know that that was gonna happen. So he's like, "Oh, before we before we get down to business, I got some shit to handle real quick. Let me put this boy in his place." And I'm like, "Ooh." And then Seth comes back and says his shit, and it's just like they're two world champions on separate brands. As much as people like to say the brand split doesn't mean anything, they really don't see each other. Besides that, like PLEs, if Roman's working it, so like it almost feels like two separate world champions are just taking shots at each other. And it's like I kind of want to see these motherfuckers fight now.
Yeah, they hadn't done it since the Royal Rumble. I think we were at they did
Mm-hmm.
when Seth came out in the Shield gear. Yeah, you could run it back. And this is something I've been saying since I first joined the show. You kind of pushed back on it a little bit, but I think I still have the same thoughts on it. How over is Seth without the theme song? We don't know. It's something I can't answer, but I like to see.
I mean, he's only had the theme song for a couple years now. He was over before that, but
Was he though? Because he had to reinvent himself because people started to get tired of him when he was the burn it down and defending that universal title all those times, and then he had to change to the Messiah and reinvent himself. And then they like slowly transfer him into this Joker Seth. I'm just saying.
I think he's over. But I think the song is over too. Like, is Sami Zayn over without his song? He's got a
Yeah,
fucking catchy
yeah,
song to
dude.
sing along. Hell, even Becky Lynch's song, like they fuck with her song.
So Sammy is over because he was when he first turned, he still had the heel song and it was still Sammy Chance. He didn't turn it back until I think the Elimination Chamber. So you still hear Sammy Chance. He did a promo after the Raw, and fans were really into him. And Cody did a promo after Raw. Becky is over without it. I just don't really hear a lot of Rollins chants like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he's over, but I don't think he's over like there's tiers to it. Like he's a big star, but he's not Roman. He's not Becky. He's not Bianca. He's not Cody. You know, he's not there, but he's still over.
I don't even think he's as far as like fan swell, LA Knight. Even though LA Knight's cooled down slightly, but LA Knight still.
How over is LA Knight without the LA Knight?
Oh, this theme music is kind of trash. His catchphrase is the thing that what he relies on and falls
Yeah,
back
his
on.
his catchphrase is in his theme music though.
Yeah, that's okay. The theme music. It's not like a Seth. Seth got like the most over theme music in the business.
They have cooled your boy LA Knight all the way down now. Like
What?
nobody's even talking about him. Like he was a big topic of discussion 2 weeks ago, and nobody gives a fuck. Any he did you even miss him on SmackDown? Him, Orton, and fucking AJ.
Yeah, he's kind of a product of Randy coming back and AJ coming back because they're kind of relying heavily on him when those guys were out. And hey, it's your job to heat yourself back up. I think he would benefit from winning that Money in the Bank, but who knows what direction they'll go in with that.
I don't even know why I just thought of this. If Punk stayed healthy and he wrestles Rollins, going back to that, and Roman's wrestling The Rock, I wonder if Cody would have did what Rollins did a couple years ago when he didn't get a opponent until WrestleMania, and Okada would have came out and he'd wrestled Okada.
That would have been dope. Well, we still don't know where Okada's gonna sign.
True. I don't know what just put that in my head right now, but Cody standing in the ring and you hear Okada's fucking coin
Die.
flip. Yeah.
They'll figure out a way to do the wish version of it, just like they did with Bianca's song.
He might have paid for it. That probably really been part of his damn contract was I want my theme music.
Yeah, that would have been dope. But going back to another thought though, are we sure Punk would have won the Rumble if he wasn't hurt? I think he might have still lost because he was being booked for the Elimination Chamber. So I think the whole Cody was supposed to win the whole time, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like we're getting all these conflicting reports on everything, but the one constant that I keep seeing everywhere is that it was supposed to be Punk and Rollins. So I don't know how they would have got there, but
Elimination Chamber, but I'm just saying I think Cody was supposed to win the Rumble the whole time, but I don't know. I don't know what they were gonna do.
so maybe the people that are saying Cody got blindsided are right about it. That he was thinking the whole time he was supposed to fucking. But why would you have him win if The Rock's gonna be that? That's what I don't understand. That's
Yeah.
why I can't understand these stories. Like again, like of all the people that report on stuff, I take Wade Keller's word more than anybody else, even though Cody talked shit about him at his press conference.
Oh yeah, he don't like Wade Keller. That's pre
And
W
he just
Torch,
no, he
right?
just kindly he said something at the Royal Rumble press conference like no matter what Wade Keller tells you, and I was just like, damn, that was a kind of a shot. But like Wade Keller to me is the most reputable one out of all of them, and then I think what's my guy's name from Mike Johnson? Is that his name?
I don't know who that is. I
Mike
don't know.
Johnson's pretty good, and then Sapp is pretty good too. But I pretty much don't like. I try to stay away from all that shit. But Keller said, "Look, man, they knew about this shit in late December, early January."
Yeah, is is Cody really a nice guy, or is he a fake nice guy? This is like a subject off the beaten path, but
Here's the thing: I think genuinely he's like a nice dude, but I think he's over the top with it. Like, but I will tell you, like, and I put this on Twitter too. I've met a bunch of wrestlers before, and I've met Cody multiple times. And every time I've met Cody, he treats me the same. He doesn't know me. Like
mm,
he would not one time has he been like, "Yeah, I remember you from such and such." But every time he treats me exactly the same. If it's something I'm wearing, like a Dallas Cowboys hat, he starts talking to me about how his sister's a Cowboys fan. If it's something like he'll have a conversation with you, treat you really well, right? Stays after. I don't know if you stayed late enough to see him, like reports are that he'll fucking stay after like 30 minutes, like signing autographs and taking selfies with everybody. He's always said that his dad taught him that the fans are why you're here and you can take the time to do that. And he goes above and beyond for it. But I also think that Cody's about making money too. Like that whole thing with the NWA title, he wanted everybody to come to All In and do all that. And you thought, oh, he's going to take the title. He's going to go all the way around, blah, blah, blah. He lost the motherfucker a month later, right back to Nick Aldis. And he was never in the NWA again. Like it was a money grab. He made us say, oh, this is the belt that my daddy used to have. And I want to win it and blah, blah, blah. Like kind of uses his dad a lot in his stuff. But I'm not going to say he's not a nice guy.
yeah, he just seems like overly nice, and I'm like, can people really be that nice?
Yeah, just always so gracious and all shucks. Like I feel what you're saying though. Like I wouldn't trust him.
Um,
if he was one of my coworkers, I wouldn't trust him. That nigga always smiling. What the fuck he's smiling about? Just came out the boss's office again.
I heard a story about him, but everybody was a dick back in high school about high school stories about him when he used to wrestle, about him being a dick in public or something like that. But aren't we all back in the day when we were in high school?
Was it Xavier Woods?
I think it was.
Yeah, on the Jericho podcast. I remember that shit. It's funny the bowling alley they were talking about where I mean you'd have to go back and remember it. The only reason I remember the bowling alley was involved, it's torn down now. But I had a summer job one time with landscaping, and that was one of our jobs, is that bowling alley. I'd never actually been in there, but I remember we did that bowling alley a couple times, and I thought, I know exactly where that shit is. It's gone now.
Oh yeah.
Because Xavier Woods, there was my one of my best friends, David, his cousin. We ended up, this was forever ago. He invited us to his cousin's birthday party, and all her friends were there. So it was like five girls and like me and some of my buddies. They were a little younger than us though. And for years, like we were hanging out with all them, and I ended up dating one of the girls. And years later on Facebook, I see Austin, I can't remember his last name. It's like people you may know. And he was friends with like all the people that went to Sprayberry High School, and this girl was one of them. I remember being like, you know, fucking Xavier Woods. I think it was Consequences Creed at the time. I was like,
Austin
you know
Creed.
him? And she was like, Austin? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, he was in this class with me, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he went to school with a bunch of people. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that comes to my wrestling parties went to school with him over here.
Really? I could see him being a goofball back in the day.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a nerd, is what they said. But I mean, what's changed really?
Yeah, I mean, millionaire nerd making that money. So
You have to run through Page too. Um, NXT Vengeance Day was this weekend. How'd you enjoy that?
it was solid. I mean, you could tell some of the performers, aren't used to working the live shows. Like the Rizzo girl was okay, and the Gacy and the Dijak match. I'm like, yeah, this is a little weird.
Mm.
But the matches that we came to watch delivered with the tag team, and I thought the Valkyria and what's the Roxanne Perez. Thought that
Mhm.
match was solid. But then they had that weird Lola Vice cash in, which I thought
Right.
was weird. And then the main event was really good, so it was a solid show.
I don't understand one having Lola Vice cash in and then them wrestle like a legit 15-minute triple threat match after the fucking match had already started. Then having her lose. You know what I mean? Like, and then I don't understand Trick taking two losses. I mean, I know Mello got pinned in the tag team match, but if he was gonna, I don't know. I thought he should have won the world title and then had, because Dragonov's title run has been,
Mm.
yeah,
Um, yeah, they kind of made me shift my picks because they got me off track a little bit, and I guess that was the point of doing it. Because I originally had Braun Breaker winning, but then he was teasing going around SmackDown. So like, why would they make him win the tournament if he's going to go up? So I think the picks, I can't remember, the picks I sent you had Frick winning one and him losing the other, but he lost both of them, which kind of shocked me. I kind of changed mine at the last minute, have him winning both, but I originally had him swapping win and loss, but yeah, they made him lose both, which is interesting. But they finally pulled the trigger, man. Our boy Carmelo turned on Trick after the match.
Hmm.
Think that was the right time to do it?
I couldn't even go outside around black people because they were so mad at light skins for like 24 hours, like all on Twitter. I couldn't even tweet anything. Black Black wrestling Twitter was so mad at light skinned niggas, man. It was just like, we not all Carmelo.
Yeah, I
They,
know, right?
they wasn't trying to hear that shit though. It's like, shut your yellow ass up. I'm like, what I do?
I'm just here minding my own business, man. And put that on me.
Right. But yeah, I'm excited about it. But I wish he would have won the title and then had Melo turn on him. But I do also see that like if he does win the title, you want him to be able to enjoy it and the crowd to enjoy it. And if Melo was to turn on him right away, he don't even get to celebrate his fucking first title win, which, it's still professional wrestling. Like you shouldn't have to worry about stuff like that. But I think that's why. I still think he'll get the title though.
I don't understand. They should have just put the title on him. Strike while the iron's hot. Because Maybe they have something that we don't know about. Like, what are you gonna do with Dragunov at Stand and Deliver? Triple threat? I think that waters it down. It needs to be one on one with Melo and Trick.
Yeah, it probably will be at Stand and Deliver.
You think it's gonna be a triple threat?
No, I think just off the top of my head now, not knowing shit about that, I think maybe Mello and Trick open the show and the winner gets Dragunov to close the show.
I wouldn't be completely mad about that. Yeah, I mean, that puts Melo and Trick at a disadvantage.
Yeah, but Trick will beat both of them. So, and then Mello beat the shit out of his leg last night, so he'll probably be off TV for like a month at least. He'll be back just in time to fucking go in and Stand and Deliver season.
Yeah, he did work on it. I don't know if I've ever seen that many chair shots on a leg like that.
I think at one point I heard Trick look at him and say, "No more, like enough, motherfucker." Like, what are you doing? This is a work.
Well, I think that's real.
Are you really mad at me? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, so they definitely got to write him off TV to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Is Melo supposed to come out tonight?
He already did. I didn't get to catch what happened, but he opened the show.
Yeah, he was getting some heat out there. They were saying, "Fuck you, Melo," and
Mm.
calling him everything but a child of the Lord.
I want to go to an NXT show in Orlando. Like, it looks fun. I know it's a little studio show. Like, the hard cam side is literally just a fucking warehouse wall, but it looks cool.
I want to go too. I want to go to that, and I want to go to. They don't call them takeovers anymore. Just the PLEs. I just want to go
Yeah.
to both just to
Well,
check it off the list.
if you go to Mania, you might as well go to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I'm gonna say might as well. I mean, tickets are underneath 100. If they're trying to tax more than that, then nope.
Yeah. So you decided if you're going to Mania yet?
I'm like, because I look at the tickets, they're not like terrible. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not like terrible. So I'm like 80% sure that I think I might go just to, check it off the list. I've never been to Mania before, and it's 40. It's like a 0, 1, and a 0. Those are usually always big deals.
I with the press conference being in Vegas, I'm really hoping they announce next year's gonna be in Vegas. That'd be great.
They got to do it in Vegas. They hadn't done one since WrestleMania 9, and that's what like the idea was when Allegiant
Caesar's
Stadium opened.
Palace. Wasn't it Caesar's Palace WrestleMania 9 when they came out in the togas and shit?
Yeah. I think that was JR's first pay-per-view with the company and whatnot.
I remember watching that Coliseum home video.
Mm-hmm. And then Terry had to hijack the show at the end, but that's a story for another day.
He's been getting a lot of comparisons to fucking Rock and Cody.
How?
Because fucking Cody said, "You go beat him," like Bret Hart did with fucking the Immortal Racist. You go beat him, and Roman's fucking Yokozuna.
Oh man, I mean it's his cousin, isn't it? So it all comes full circle.
I still can't believe my little dumbass thought Yokozuna was actually Japanese when I was a kid.
I mean, we all did. That's what they touted him as. It's not like you assumed. They had him swinging around the Japanese flag.
Yeah, but looking back, like that motherfucker Samoan as hell.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't look Japanese at all. Just had him in a in a sumo outfit and put his hair in a little ponytail.
Put Mr. Fuji with him.
And put Mr. Fuji with him. We all know how Vince got down.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
But yeah, man, WrestleMania season full effect. Hopefully they could get the ship wrote, and then NXT's cooking. I mean, we're setting ourselves up for a big WrestleMania season. Fans just need to shut the fuck up, though.
Man, you know who's losing out big time on this?
Who's that?
AEW.
How so?
normally when something big goes on in wrestling, it's a lot of AEW versus WWE talk on the internet and shit like that. But I mean, like, I haven't seen anything AEW positive or negative in like days on there.
Mm, this is like the time of the year where everybody's focusing more so on WrestleMania, and they just kind of cruise into the Revolution season. I haven't really. It's usually like they always start cooking, double or nothing, and then the All Out. But thinking back to the history of AEW, they haven't really had like a whole lot going on at this time of year. What's the biggest Revolution show that you could think of off the top of your head?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as this past weekend, TK might tweet some stupid shit out, or something might happen on one of the shows where at least people are talking about AEW. I feel like nobody's talked about AEW in days, man.
Yeah, I mean, this Cody story has consumed the wrestling world. I think
Now, they got to do something tomorrow night.
it's in Phoenix, so I think they will. I think Sting's gonna get his last piece of gold before
I
as
heard
a swan song.
the dumbest fucking idea on something I was listening to. These motherfuckers want Ric Flair to turn on Sting because that's the way they've been their entire history.
Turn on them and do what?
Cost them the tag team titles.
That's I don't think so.
Yeah. And then what? How does
Yeah.
Sting get back on Ric Flair when Ric Flair can't take a fucking, ain't supposed to take a bump?
Stu literally could die if he takes a bump.
So
Yeah.
you want him to call Sting? Like, I don't know. It was so stupid. I was just like, seriously? Like, what are y'all thinking sometimes when y'all come up with this fantasy booking shit? Be realistic.
Yeah. I don't know why they even. And then like you come all the way up to this point and they haven't lost. Like, why would you do it there?
Watch the shit happen.
I'd be so upset. If you're gonna
Flair
have him,
fucking Flair
yeah,
fucking low blow Sting. Sting turns around to hit him, but he won't because he knows he'll kill Flair. And
yeah.
then fucking Ricky Stark spears Sting and pins him. Ugh.
If you're gonna have Sting and Darby lose their first tag team match, you would do it when Sting on his way out. Like, why would you do it tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever said that, yeah, they weren't thinking.
You got Sting and Darby winning the titles?
Now that I think about it, and AEW doesn't do this a lot. I have them winning, but I don't know if they'll win straight up. They might win by DQ. They're gonna win.
It's a tornado match. There's no
Oh, it
D.
is?
It's
Oh,
a
it's no.
tornado tag.
Oh, yeah, I got them winning there. Unless the
That's
Bucks
what
calls them.
that's a possibility.
Yeah.
But why would the Bucks, if the Bucks are fighting them at Revolution, why would they not want them to be the tag champs?
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense then.
Maybe the Bucks help them win.
Mm. That too, with this goofy uh EVP gimmick that they got.
I kind of like them.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. I like it. This is the. I don't think in the history of Boot to the Face I've ever said like I like something that the Bucks are doing, but I like this. I think it's fun. Nicholas and Matthew.
I just don't like their humor. They're trying to be sarcastic because people are always talking about them being EVPs and now they're leaning into it, but it's just not my kind of humor. You can make like light of it all you want, but y'all still lost a bunch of money y'all could have made. So whatever. I guess make fun of it on screen if you want, but
It ain't their money. It's Tony Khan's money, and he's allowing it to happen.
true that. But
They check still cleared.
that's true. But could have had even fatter wallets. But
Joke is on oh shit. Dragonoff is walking through the parking lot, EJ. I'm nervous.
oh
You know how
yeah.
the NXT parking lots are dangerous as the motherfucker.
Yeah. Now they get down in the NXT parking lot.
Okay, the interviewer ran up on him.
Hey, the interviewer, lucky she didn't catch a hot one.
Right?
Run up on me like that.
She called a stray. Bitch, I thought you was somebody else. Get up. Here, pick that microphone back up.
You know it ain't safe out in these streets.
Oh my God. Bailey, how you like Bailey's we didn't even talk about her Royal
Oh,
Rumble. She's
yeah.
picked Io Sky.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it on the little emergency show we did this past weekend. Hey, I told you, I mean, we all knew it. We saw it coming from a mile away. I like it. I know how you said you don't think it's a WrestleMania match, but I think they'll come through when it comes down to it. It's definitely not going to main event, but I like it. And I like the way how she threw the Japanese in there, add that little twist and flair to it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Bailey. People talking about the hugger gimmick might come back. I think you might need to leave that one in the past and
Yeah.
just do a twist on a modern day face version of what she's doing right now.
She should bring back the Bailey Buddies at WrestleMania, though.
Just for like one night only.
Yeah, just at WrestleMania. Because that'd be a cool visual to see that at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Like a one night only. Don't make it a thing.
No, definitely. Just like I said, just that one night, just at WrestleMania, do it, and then somebody could fucking cut them up again.
What about what happened to Dakota though? That's what I meant to ask you.
She was tweeting. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?" It's literally what she said. She
That's what
said,
she said?
"WTF is going on?"
That's what she said?
Yeah, she tweeted that out. I don't know where she was at though.
Because I don't know if you pointed this out or somebody else. I think like one of the last parents that she did in person, she didn't have the knee brace on. So
Yeah, she got physical a couple weeks ago too. Like she hit somebody, which she hasn't done in forever. So I think she's I was honestly shocked that she wasn't in the Royal Rumble.
yeah, I mean, it's probably not all the way back. I don't know. It just seems like her, Tegan Knox, and like Cora Jade, they just have
Stay.
bad luck with with injuries.
Yeah.
Hopefully she can stay healthy though. But yeah, I'm digging it. And then they're starting the qualification matches with the Elimination Chamber.
How were the women's matches in person? Were they well received or were they
Becky was the most over woman as far as all the women who wrestled on the show, of course, because it's Becky, but it was she got a nice pop, but not like the classic Becky pop. Like you said, like St. Louis is a classic wrestling town, but that crowd last night was kind of trash to me. And and then they didn't really a few spots here and there for the women's tag team match, but like they weren't like super into it. The most into match is we'll talk about it on the power rankings as well. It was like the first match. People were really into the tag team match, the turmoil 4-way or whatever.
Yeah. We were talking about people being over because of their music and stuff like that. It made me think when you were talking about Becky, what about Jey Uso? You think he's that over without his music and his little hand sign?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not the hand sign, but I don't think it's the music.
I don't know. Look, I feel like when they were at where'd they beat Roman and Solo? They were overseas. Was that Money in the Bank? They were overseas, and that's where it started to me. If you go back and watch that match at the beginning when they came out, but really when they won, that fucking crowd sang every word of the Uso song. And I think that's where it started with the Uso song. Because before that, like they will react to the Uso song, but they weren't singing along with it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I think Jay keeping versions of the song and staying with the beat and all that. And then the little hand, maybe the hand signal thing gets everybody hyped up and they're like, we like this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think his theme music complements, his character. Because you could change his music, anything. He's still the one that goes out there and can get the crowd hype with whatever music they give him. He can get the crowd hype like that. I'm just saying, like, if you completely change Seth's music and people like saying, oh, change it to something else, then what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they chant Uso and they do the yeet thing too, so it's not just the music.
No yeet.
Yeah, his brother Jimmy, even he's benefiting off of that.
I wonder how many shirts are selling that say no yeet on them.
Bet a
Like it's
bunch.
basically admitting that you're a hater of Jay Uso. Like Jay Uso shouldn't have haters.
Hey, that was Roman though. Roman was giving him the word every time Jimmy would say yeet. Another line, Roman. I meant no yeet.
It's almost time for WrestleMania T-shirt week, EJ. I'm just sitting here. There was a commercial on just now, and it reminded me that I think when I moved and I what's the word I'm looking for? Like decluttered or
Mm-hmm.
circumcised my wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Downsize.
just by fucking happenstance, I think I got rid of all my Rock shirts.
Really?
I was looking for a shirt with the Rock on it the other day, and I couldn't find one of them. I think the only one I have left is one that I got that's Rock versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania 17. So I'm gonna have to get on WWE Shop, go buy me some Rock merch. Let these motherfuckers know we want Rocky.
I should buy some too, just because it's Black History Month. That's another reason why this Rocky slander is blasphemous. Y'all gonna really do this on Black History Month?
Yeah, really.
Shame on y'all.
Or white man
Mm-hmm.
dressed like Homelander.
Yeah. Well, at Boot to the Face, we don't get down like that. We support you, Rock.
Fuck yeah, we should fucking put some shirts out to say we want Rocky. Do like old Conrad Thompson did. Did you see that shit? Now
Mm-mm.
so he's such a fucking he threw a 48-hour temper tantrum about The Rock and Cody, getting everybody all riled up. And then Monday morning dropped a shirt that said, "We want Cody, and Cody is the guy. Go buy the shirt." And I retweeted it and was like, "Well, I guess we know what that temper tantrum was about." But somebody else tweeted him and said, like, "Yeah, another friend of ours made that shirt. And they're donating 25% of the proceeds to charity or something like that." And he's like, "Well, all of it's going to charity from our shirts." I'm sorry, you didn't say all that. You literally just said, "Go buy this shirt" after throwing that fucking tantrum, and it turns out it's for like the Dusty Rhodes Foundation and all that. Like, it, I don't know.
It's for a good cause, but like we talked about earlier, these are supposed to be professionals, like, and they're showing bias, and
Yeah.
people are gonna follow what they say and hijack the show. Like, that seems unprofessional to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, he clearly has a relationship with Cody. Like they did Starcast at All In, and then it was with AEW. And when Cody left, Starcast left AEW, and now they do Starcast shit where the WWE goes. So clearly, there's a relationship with Cody, which is fine. Like if that's what you want, but don't try to make it seem like you know The Rock just came in and screwed the guy over and all that. And then to put out a T-shirt and when somebody calls you out on it, then you say, "Oh, well, yeah, it's for this foundation." Like you should have made that clear from the beginning. Don't get mad at people because they think you're. Because to me, it came off like he threw a temper tantrum. He got everybody riled up, and then he started selling T-shirts to his listeners to say, "We want Cody on them." Now,
People are weird, man. Like, they act like this is like boxing or UFC and the guy's losing a real title shot. What if like you call the producers of the boys or anything like that? Like, we don't want this storyline. We want you to kill off Homelander or whatnot. Like,
yeah.
you know how crazy that would sound?
Let me talk to the nigga in charge of Law and Order. I want to know why Ice T ain't in the main event. It's always Mariska Hargitay. You know, he's been
Yeah,
on the show
man.
20 years. It's time for him to get his just due.
Wrestling fans are weird, man. And we appreciate the listeners of our show, but some of y'all other cats are weird. Y'all need to go get some women.
Speaking of going to get women, they done ran off the Rock's daughter off social media.
Yeah, they're giving her that right. What she have to do with anything? She's an NXT mind her own business, being a GM.
Which says shit, NXT mind her own business. Open her phone up. Tell your daddy he ain't shit. Rocky sucks. I hate your dad. Like, get out of here, people. What are y'all doing?
Jesus. People have no clue, man. It's just ridiculous. Over entertainment, sports entertainment.
Right.
People remember the entertainment part. harassing people over entertainment. It's crazy to me. Weirdos, like I said.
I heard I randomly just keep remembering shit about this whole Rock thing. So Rock is basically Triple H's boss now because he's on the board of directors. Like
Yeah. And
nobody that's a McMahon is on the board of directors anymore. Like Rock is one of the most powerful people in TKO. And I saw on Twitter a Bret Hart interview about how when Rock was younger and Bret Hart was still there, how Triple H and Shawn Michaels used to basically like bully him and pick on him
yeah.
because they were jealous. And
I
I
heard
know,
it was more so of a HBK thing than Triple H.
oh, true. HBK's a piece of shit. I've said this for years. Like he had a thing. He had a thing with The Rock to where he wouldn't even wrestle The Rock when The Rock was popular, and then of course he got hurt. But when he came back, like they had issues, and that's why they never wrestled because
Yeah.
Triple H, HBK still was trying to treat him like shit. Um, but yeah, the thing about it was people were like, "You think that this is The Rock sticking it to Triple H, and now he's taking over, blah blah blah." And I'm like, I don't think it is, but goddamn, what long term storytelling it would be if it was. Like, could you imagine being that petty? Like,
No.
I'm not even petty. Like, if you were on your come up and people were like trying to make your life a living hell, and you become one of the biggest stars in the world, and you can come back and be like, yeah, I'm your fucking boss now. Why not?
Yeah, but like we talked about when we first talked about The Rock being in that board of directors position at TKO, how much power does he really have? He's probably more so of a figurehead. He probably does have some input. I don't think he can suggest stuff, but from what I'm hearing, I heard that Triple H basically is running the shit when it comes to creative. So, and then how productive would that be if The Rock just tried to, insert himself like that just to do it in spite of Triple H? Then look at the reaction now. Like, I don't know if he would do that on purpose. I think him and Triple H wanted this to happen. I think they were on the same page as far as this goes, but I think the fans are just being dickheads.
Yeah, big time.
But that would be funny, like you said, that'd be super long term booking if that was the case.
Let's get into these power rankings, and then we'll pick the Super Bowl winner if you got nothing else with the pro wrestling world.
We can jump into the power rankings. I think you went first last week. I'm pretty sure. So I will kick it off. Number 5 on my power rankings. They're your winners. I think this was got them into a number 1 contendership match. It was probably one of my favorite matches of the night yesterday, seeing in person. I got your boy Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa DIY with a really entertaining tag team match yesterday. Fans were really into it.
My number 5 winner of the main event last night, bull rope match, Cody Rhodes.
It was okay watching in person. How did it come off on TV?
It was all right. I mean, he still won the main event. It's slim pickings this week, nothing really stands out to me. So Cody's number 5. Number 4, my man didn't even wrestle. But I tell you what, I've never been more into a character that I don't give a shit about like I am Drew McIntyre right now. This guy is fucking money on the microphone right now.
How about his shirt?
I loved it. I loved it. I loved him out there agitating Cody, like, hey man, go finish your fucking story. Like, what are you doing over here? Go go finish your story so I can fucking beat up Seth and take his belt from him. Like, I just think him agitating everybody was really good. And it made sense. And at the end of the day, like, we talked about this on here. Drew he was coming off like such a crybaby for the longest. Like, I keep losing and people keep cheating. And now he's just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm bigger than everybody. I'm badder than everybody. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of everybody. And I'm gonna talk to him while I'm doing it. I like that kind of shit.
Hey man, I wouldn't have been mad if Drew got to step in for Punk. Fuck it, let him run with the title, see what he could do.
Hmm.
You got number 4.
Drew.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were number 5.
Number 5 was Cody.
Man, I'm tripping, man. My bad, everybody. I thought he still had a number 4.
That fella looked like he dead.
uh, my number 4 is Bryan Danielson.
Hmm.
The win on Collision. That was my favorite match on Collision. Defeated Hechicero of the CMLL. And even though this isn't like a huge storyline, I'm intrigued that they got the BCC versus this CMLL, the Luchadors. They have a little beef feud. They did a good job of like keeping the BCC kind of fresh, like because factions usually they run this course, but they do a good job of like they do their own thing and then they come back for certain stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's been like 2 years because I think when we went to Revolution, that was the first time they like joined when him and Bryan Danielson and Mox had that match at Revolution. So that's my number 4. My number 3 is the first qualifier of I was gonna say Money in the Bank, the elimination chamber. Becky Lynch got a win over Shayna. I don't know what they're doing with Shayna Baszler right now, but whatever. But Becky's the first to qualify, and it's almost a foregone conclusion she's gonna win the chamber, right?
I mean, I thought it was a foregone conclusion she would win Money in the Bank, and I thought it was a foregone conclusion she would win the Royal Rumble. So, like, I don't fucking know what they're doing with Becky anymore. I think Becky's so over now to the point where they're like, you don't have to be in the main event. Like, we can let somebody else have a chance. We can let Liv Morgan fight Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. We can do anything else, right? Like, you don't need the title anymore. You had the title for fucking almost 2 years straight and a pregnancy in the middle of it. Like, so
You made me throw up in my mouth a little bit when you said Liv at WrestleMania.
wow, that's just rude. He's
Uh,
a former SmackDown Women's Champion, EJ, former Money in the Bank winner, a 2-time runner-up in the Royal Rumble.
I don't give a damn. She doesn't do it for me on the mic. She's pretty good in the ring, I guess. But she's just was she on SmackDown? How she magically pop up on Raw?
No, she was on Raw because Liv hurt her. I mean, Rhea Ripley put her out
That's what
because of her.
happened.
Who was her tag team partner? What's old girl with the back muscles?
Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, they were a tag team, and Rhea beat them both up.
Hold up? When did Liv win the belt?
She won the belt on SmackDown like 2 years. We were at fucking SummerSlam when she was the champion.
Damn, that was that long ago.
Yeah.
Damn, because I guess she did get drafted to Raw. See, that's how much she made a lasting impact on me. I don't even know what show she's on, but with these qualification matches, are they only Raw people?
No, 3 from SmackDown, 3 from Raw, I think.
Oh, what if they threw, like you said, they could probably put Becky in anything. What if they tried to throw like a Bianca wrench in there?
I don't know. I think Bianca and Jade are gonna take on the Kabuki Warriors. I just don't know how they're gonna get there.
That's how hope happens because people wanted to rush that Bianca and Jade at Mania,
Yeah.
but I was saying you could let that cook for a while, build
Yeah.
that up. That should be main event. I think.
I think they'll either do that or they'll fight each other, like we talked about last week. But I'm with you. Let them get the tag titles and let them run through everybody, and eventually one of them can turn on the other one.
SummerSlam have them turn.
Yeah. My number 3 is the same as yours. She defeated Shayna Baszler again. They brought up Shayna running through the elimination chamber and then Becky just beating her at the COVID WrestleMania. But when the whole crowd is chanting Rocky sucks and you win your match with a rock bottom and they still cheer for you, I think you're pretty over. And that's what Becky did.
Hey, Becky is solid. You need anything, you go to Becky. That was your number 3.
Yep. My number 2 is a tie. I don't normally do this.
Mm-hmm.
Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, your new
Okay.
Andre the Giant tag team champion winners, and
Okay.
Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
I couldn't pick one of them over the other, and I couldn't kick anybody else. I had to put Drew on the list. I know he didn't wrestle, but I had to get him on there just because Drew's been the man lately, man. He really has. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think he's had a strong 2 or 3 weeks since the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Every time he gets something, he's been knocking it out the park. So I'm not mad at that. We got a while before we get there. I mean, I guess we're like what, like a month out? No, we still like 2 months out from WrestleMania. What are they gonna do with Lyra Valkyria at Stand and Deliver? They can't do her and Tatum Paxley.
They don't have anybody new coming down the pike, do they?
Mm-mm.
Nobody's injured. They could come back.
That's a good question. I feel like it's somebody. Damn,
Maybe she still loses to Lola Vice.
think they strapped the rocket on Lola like that.
Lola looked good in that match the other night. I was shocked. I thought she was gonna come out, cash in, and win really fast, and they would do a bunch of smoke and mirrors with her. But she looked good in that match. The moment wasn't too big for her.
Yeah, she's an athlete. They just made her look like a dumb heel. Like, why would you cash in the middle of the match when people are still pretty fresh?
Yeah,
Right?
she tried to do the old Seth Rollins, and it
Yeah.
backfired.
Seth Rollins did it when they were already beaten and battered. She did it in the middle of the match. So,
She had no patience, EJ. She's like a WWE fan right now. I don't want to wait till SummerSlam. I want to do this shit now.
fair enough. It just seems like I would have probably. I think it would have even been a better look if she would have like, called her shot and lose. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been mad at that, but
Well,
whatever.
I don't know who this dude is. Brian Pillman's beating the shit out of him.
Texas King. I don't know what they're doing with that kid, but
Also,
we'll
you're
see.
gonna get you a Chase U calendar.
Hey man, I support what those girls are doing, but you won't see that hanging up on my wall. Those girls are like 18, 19.
I mean, Thea Hale is. Jason James like 38.
Oh man, you put some respect on that girl's name. It's 38.
She's about the same age as Zoe Stark.
Oh man. Hey man, let me move on to my number two pick. My number two is your number one ranked wrestler on the AEW rankings. Swerve Strickland over a pretty damn good match against RVD. RVD still got a little bit left in the tank. I enjoyed the match. So my number two, Swerve.
My boy came and said he gonna be Black History.
That's what Swerve said?
Yeah, you didn't hear him in his interview with Tony Schiavone? He talked about it being Black History Month. He said, I'm gonna shout out like some of the people that paved the way. He named like Mark Henry. Then he name dropped Kofi Kingston.
I heard that part, yeah.
I can't remember who else he said. And he was like, I'm gonna be Black. He said Athena. He brought her up. But yeah, this dude's just hitting on all cylinders, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Revolution, he needs to win the fucking title.
Yeah. Samoa Joe did what he needed to do. He got a title run. You know, it's kind of a prize showing that his just showing appreciation from him in the business, like a longevity and like that for you, Joe. But like he doesn't need to be like a long time title holder. But
Somebody's got to be a quick turnaround. Somebody's got to be a transitional champion. They haven't had one. It's like every time. Go ahead.
And you gotta throw those in, like, or it doesn't keep the business going forward. You just can't have everybody have year long title runs. You need a transitional champion.
Yeah.
Going back to Swerve though, you was mentioning that he brought up those black wrestlers and stuff. But didn't he complain about being on like the black wrestler ranking list or something like that?
I can't remember what exactly happened with that. I think he had a point. Not that I agree with his point. What I'm saying is, I think he had a point he was trying to make, and I don't think he made it correctly. He got mad. I can't remember exactly though, but I remember when it happened. I was like, I ain't like mad at what he said, but yeah, you know how Black Twitter can be sometimes. We ain't the most forgiving fucking group.
Too bad to swear. You still our guy though.
Yeah.
Number one didn't even wrestle, and I'm doing this guy at number one. Despite all you Cody fanboys, my number one is The Rock. Right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Rock is number one on my power ranking, and he'll be main eventing at WrestleMania against the Tribal Chief. So take that, crybabies.
Damn. How did I not have The Rock on my list? He was on SmackDown Friday.
And the crowd went crazy. They were eating it up.
He didn't even have to say anything. He just walked out there and looked at Roman.
Crazy. And in Birmingham, Alabama, all places too.
So, what's up, nephew? Looked at the belt, said, "This you? This you?" My number one, damn. I gotta put Dragunov on there because he beat Trick. I was
gonna do that, but I couldn't do
it.
I couldn't do it on Black History Month.
I had any black people in mind.
Man, I gotta have at least one or two.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Fuck that. Swerve in there. Fuck Dragunov. He beat Trick. Fuck Dragunov.
Yeah.
In February. We ain't got but 29 days. You had fucking 330 something other days you could have did that shit.
Yeah, I like you, HBK, but you didn't read the room on that one.
I told you HBK's a piece of shit. EJ, when you gonna learn?
Hey, players fuck up sometimes. But like, what do you, I feel like Trick should be on the main roster, probably, man.
No, he ain't ready yet.
Why not?
I just think he needs a little bit more fine tuning.
They were cheering the fuck out of him on SmackDown.
He needs to work on another finishing move. That knee ain't it.
Yeah, it's hard to pull that off. Some wrestlers can't, but maybe he needs to change that. I don't like Carmelo's finishing move.
I was just about to say him and Melo both need new finishing moves.
Just because I hate finishing moves where you got to predicate it on somebody being in a certain position like that. Same with kind of the same thing with Trick. Swerve's finishing move. He's got like the coup de grace, but they got to be like sitting down and like on their butt for him to do it. That's weird. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you know whose finishing move I like? Gunther's, and he ain't got one. He just beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Like Gunther might beat you with a clothesline, a power bomb, a fucking guillotine. Like Gunther, when he decides it's time to beat your motherfucking ass, that's when he wins.
Yeah, that's dope. Keeps it realistic and authentic.
It ain't gonna happen with main event Jey Uso though.
I don't know about that one. He has to lose the belts eventually, but I don't know if they're gonna do it on a Raw.
I don't think they're gonna fight each other on Raw. I think they're gonna fight each other in Elimination Chamber.
Oh, maybe they do pull the trigger at Perth, but with this whole Brock fiasco, I don't know what happens with Gunther at WrestleMania.
That's what I was about to say. Honestly, I think what they should do is have him wrestle at Elimination Chamber and have Imperium cheat and give Jay the rematch at WrestleMania.
That'd be a good time to take the belt off of him and then have him focus on the world title.
Yeah, I think Jay winning at WrestleMania would be a huge fucking moment. 80,000 people like doing the little fucking Jay wave. And I think the US title, I know we done delved into fantasy booking mania, but in the good old days, either the IC title or the US title would always have a ladder match at WrestleMania. Where they would get people involved. I know people used to shit on that. Oh, they're just trying to get people on the show. They are, but it was also fun. Like, I think the US title should be a ladder match this year.
So, how many times have they really done that? Maybe a lot. They did it a lot when I wasn't watching. But the one I remember is when Zack Ryder won it.
Yeah,
they did it more times than that.
Oh boy, we got a camera in the NXT women's locker room for some reason. If it wasn't a ladder match, it was always like a multi-person match. But yeah, Logan Paul, you get fucking Ricochet in there. Maybe Montez Ford. Yeah, put LA Knight in it. Maybe Montez Ford. Like, get a bunch of high flyers in there.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I do. I also like your idea with Jay, but I just got a feeling they want to do him and Jimmy. How we get there, I don't know.
They did it at WrestleMania, man. Like, leave it alone.
You mean the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Royal Rumble.
They did it for a little bit, but I feel like that's what they want.
Yeah,
Like Jimmy and Jay want to face each other because they, how often you get to say you face your brother at WrestleMania?
Brett said it's overrated.
That was one of the best WrestleMania matches as far as technical matches.
Hell, Melo doing back out here.
I guess I have to tune in multiple Melo appearances. NXT gearing up, man. NXT be cooking though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather see Jay win the title at WrestleMania. But you're right. They do want that fucking Jimmy and Jay and
What happens with Solo?
somebody's got to run out there and help Roman.
True. You said you don't see it happening, but why wouldn't they bring Cena back to get his revenge on him?
I've seen us busy doing podcasts and voiceovers and shit.
Hey, if The Rock could come out, even though Ross got stake in the company now, Cena could bring his little ass out.
What if fucking Cena does come help The Rock?
Help Rock do what?
Fucking Bloodline's jumping him and Rock needs backup and Cena comes and helps him. He came and helped him against the Wyatt family.
At Mania?
Yeah. Fucking have Cena's music hit come running out there. Rock's still gonna lose, but it still be a moment.
Yeah, Roman ain't losing, but yeah, why not? They're buddy.
Before the match, Rock gets on the mic and he's like, I know you're gonna have the rest of the family here, so I figured I'd invite somebody too to watch my back.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that. Cena said he's winding down, so but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him at 40 just because it's a monumental show. But still got a lot of time. We still got 2 months. See what happens.
I'm gonna be doing this random fucking what if John Cena came back and Kurt Angle and they dug up the Undertaker?
The internet fans are salivating at the mouth. You fantasy booking.
Yeah, fantasy booking's fun, except when you don't get too fucking and like. I just come up with a bunch of shit, but I don't like hold on to it.
Yeah, people get a little bit too nerdy with it. That's why I check out.
WWE is hiring for a creative writer right now. They posted the job online.
Really?
Maybe I should apply.
They posted it online like it's just like some run-of-the-mill job. Hey, come write for us. Apply. Put your Indeed in. Put your LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a position that would be like something that you got to know somebody to apply. But that's funny that you said they just posted.
Super Bowl Sunday, EJ. San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, sir. The Chiefs have kind of lived long enough to see themselves become the villains. It seems like a lot of people want them to lose this weekend.
I was thinking about this in the shower today, and I don't even know why. But the Chiefs, if they win, they've had to go through like hell to win this Super Bowl. They fucking just slept walk through the regular season.
Yeah.
Melo's an asshole. They slept walk through the regular season, and then they had to beat Miami, who was probably, besides the Chiefs, probably the third best team in the AFC. Beat Buffalo, who was the second best team in the AFC on the road, and then had to go beat the number one team in the AFC on the road in Baltimore. And now they're about to beat the number one seed in the NFC if they win the Super Bowl. Like, talk about like finishing up your dynasty. You know, this will be the third Super Bowl in like 5 years. That is a dynasty, and to go through the gauntlet of teams they've had to beat, you know, for the past year, I've talked about how easy it was for Philadelphia to get to the Super Bowl last year. They had to beat the Giants, and then they had to beat San Francisco without their two or three best players. Like, that's easy. Kansas City hadn't had it easy.
Mm-mm.
So I think if they win, I mean, Mahomes' legacy is already cemented, but if they win, he's got an argument of being the best quarterback ever. I know Brady's got way more rings, but Mahomes has probably got 10, 15 years left too.
Montana's got more rings.
Montana's got what, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mahomes is better than Montana. Montana
Yeah.
could do shit when he came to Kansas City.
Except make it to AFC Championship.
Whooped he do? He didn't do shit else. Then he got hurt. He tore his hand. He pulled his hamstring or some shit like that. Yeah, Marcus Allen too is his running back.
Was Marcus Allen still Marcus Allen at that point? Marcus Allen at that point?
I mean, fucking Joe Montana wasn't Joe Montana.
Yeah. I'm not gonna downplay Joe Montana's greatness, but
Man.
having 3 Super Bowls definitely looks a lot more shinier than just 2. So I think.
I mean, if you think about it, like Peyton's got 2, Eli's got 2, even though Eli's not in that elite category. Big Ben's got 2. After that, like nobody really wins multiple Super Bowls. You got Aikman with 3. You got Brady got like 7 or 8. Bradshaw's got a few. Elway's got what?
2.
Elway won 2, didn't he?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, but after that, like most of these people are just one and done. Look at Rodgers and Breeze and all these guys. Like
Brett Favre.
Excuse me, Russell Wilson. Yeah, Brett Favre. Like quarterbacks don't win all these championships. They all have their little runs. The ones that have multiple. And I think right now we're in the middle of the fucking Patrick Mahomes era.
Yeah. We shall see.
I can see him winning 3 more.
That's a lot. A lot of things got to go right. You know, NFL's not for long. That's what they say.
Look at this year though. Like we wrote them motherfuckers off how many times? Like oh, Kansas City, their wide receivers can't catch. They can't beat a good team. Like they lost to the Eagles. They lost to Buffalo. They throwing away games and shit. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers like whatever. Wait till we get to the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe they were pacing themselves. They're like, we're gonna make y'all think we can't catch, and when it comes up big, we'll make the catches that matter.
I know people hate on them, but I really do think Patrick Mahomes might be the best quarterback we've seen in I won't say ever because I don't remember Bradshaw and all them guys. And I was younger when Aikman, I didn't respect the game with Aikman and Elway and all them how I do now. I thought Aaron Rodgers was the best like thrower of the football. Like I don't like him, but Aaron Rodgers had he just made the shit look so easy. But Mahomes is making it look easy and also winning. Rodgers only won 1. And all the years he was in Green Bay and went to the playoffs, he only won once. This guy just makes it look so effortless. And he's doing it with oh, sure, take the fastest fucking player. I don't need a running back. All I need is my tight end.
Yeah. And this just isn't hyperbole. I think we haven't seen a talent, like you said, with the combination of both. Because like you said, either you see like just a winner and a guy who knows how to get the job done, which I think Brady's in that category.
Oh, yeah.
In his Moss year, he put up numbers, but Brady didn't have like the strongest arm. He was just on a good team and he knew how to win, if that makes
cerebral.
sense.
He was cerebral.
Like the guys with like the most talented arms, like you think of Elway, he's like one of the early guys where it's just like the arm talent's off the roof. Like you said, he only got 2.
Marino never even won 1.
Yeah, Marino was like one of those guys who was slinging it and then got 1. Peyton was like, when he came out, he's like the most complete quarterback, even though he didn't have a huge cannon arm. He only got 2. Brett Favre was like a cannon arm guy. He only got 1. Like you said, Rodgers is probably like the most talented arm talent, and he only got 1. So Patrick Mahomes wins 3. Like he's like on a level that we haven't seen before. Somebody with the arm talent and the winning to go with it.
he's only been in the league 6 years too, right? Like this is only his 6th year, and he's gonna have if they win, he'll have 3 Super Bowls. Like I said, he's got 10 years left probably if he wants to play that long. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have he's not like he's a mobile quarterback, but he ain't fucking Mike Vick
Yeah.
or even Jalen Hurts if you want to put him in there. Like
Hmm.
him getting older isn't gonna change his way of play that much because he ain't that fast to begin
Yeah,
with. Like,
but you don't put a spy on him, he'll be 20 yards down the field, surprisingly. Like, what just
like
happened?
how is nobody catching this? Like he even runs weird. Like
Yeah.
how's nobody catching this motherfucker? But I mean, he just knows when to do things, man. The guy's really fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I think, like you said, his legacy is fine without the Super Bowl, but this would put another feather in that cap and kind of push him into that upper echelon of Mount Everest of
Mm.
quarterbacks. But a lot has to go right. But so with that being said, who you think is gonna win?
I said all that to say this. I think San Francisco is gonna lose. I think the Chiefs win.
Okay.
Yeah. Not only because of Patrick Mahomes, but one thing that's not being talked about a lot, the Chiefs are playing really good defense.
Yeah, they are.
Like when you can shut down Lamar Jackson the way they did, after shutting down Josh Allen the way they did, after shutting down, I know it was fucking like -30, but after shutting down Tua and Tyreek Hill and all them guys, like it can't be missed that the Chiefs have just played really good fucking defense, really good team football. Now, I will say this, the thing that scares me, when you have a team like the 49ers, and for all intents and purposes, Green Bay should have beat them.
Detroit.
But if you want to go even further, Detroit had them. So usually when a team comes in, you're like, oh, they shouldn't even be here. They should have lost to such and such. You know what happens? They end up blowing the fucking doors off the other team in the championship. So I am a little bit trepidatious about that, but man, I think Kansas City takes this.
You think it'd be close?
I say about 10 or less.
So I'm going the opposite of you. I think the 49ers finally break through. This will be what their third trip in the past 11 or so years. They did with Kaepernick, they did it with Jimmy G. Now they do it with Purdy. I just think I hate to use like team of destiny, but I just think like they've just been able to pull these games out somehow. And it just sometimes it's your time to win. And I hate to say it because I hate the 49ers. I hate them in Green Bay as far as like non-divisional cowboy opponent.
Hmm.
But I think the Chiefs are gonna come out hot, and I think they're gonna let the 49ers hang around a little bit too long. Because the 49ers on paper, they got the better team, especially with like the skills players. Like you said, the Chiefs defense is underrated, especially the second half of the season. But I just think the overall better team, besides quarterback and tight end, are the 49ers. And I think they finally break through as much as I hate to say this. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they win by a field goal.
I think anybody that's out there arguing that Brock Purdy's a great generational quarterback, which is what I've been seeing on
What?
TV. Yeah, they've been like, is Brock Purdy gonna go down as one of the best quarterbacks if they win? Blah blah blah. You just named 3 different quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan is. Was it Shanahan? No, it was Harbaugh that took Kaepernick.
Yeah. Yes. But Shanahan took Jimmy G.
And now Purdy, and they were in the championship game like with a fucking with a couple quarterbacks. So Purdy's literally the definition of a system quarterback. Like that's not disrespectful or putting him down in any way. Like he's in a system, he's running the system. Don't get me wrong. Like you can't just say, oh, you could put anybody in there. Like it's got to be the right person. But he's a system quarterback. That's a really good system. They got guys that run wide open all the time, and he just throws the ball to them. But I just feel like fuck San Francisco, man. I don't want them to win.
And and then like I'm trying to do a little reverse psychology because I really don't want them to win. So maybe I'm jinxing them. And yeah, I mean, wasn't the same people saying the same thing about Hurts after last season? He was generational and whatnot. And
Yeah.
look what happened this season.
Low device time. Good God.
So give the Purdy kid some time to see what he does in the long run. Like, let's see if he could do it for 4 or 5 seasons. It's only his full year start. Well, he came in as an injury replacement last season, didn't he? And then this season was his first year as a full-time starter, right?
No, I think he took yeah, you're right. Lance was starting and then he took the job and they never gave it back.
So yeah, let's see what he does after like season 4. Even next year, let's see what he does. But he's been doing what he's been asked to do. I can't hate on the kid.
Yeah. 49ers do have a good team. Like, I love their linebackers. Like, I'm really hoping Dallas tries to invest in linebackers this year because that's what they need.
Need to.
They got one, number 11, by the way. Who can play literally what he was drafted for, but Dan Quinn. I got the Chiefs, you got the 49ers.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, if you ain't got anything else, EJ, we'll get up out of here. This is the second show of the week, and I need some time away from wrestling.
Oh, you're gonna get more time wrestling. WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I will be watching AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. Let's go, Sting.
Bring home the belt, Sting. And
For
Darby.
EJ Reed, I'm Chris Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Hopefully next time we talk to you, Sting will be one half of your AEW World Tag Team Champions. Until then, peace.
Got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put it